G'day everybody, it's Mike Pelusey back again to talk to you about exploring your neighbourhood with your camera during these unusual times when there's still a few restrictions going. So we certainly can't travel overseas, can we? Or interstate. So why not explore your backyard, pretend you're a tourist and have a look around as if you are travelling somewhere. Now we're going to talk about built landscape. Basically, most of us live in cities, towns. Let's face it, that's where most of us population is based. So how about looking at what is around us in the built landscape? We've already looked at other areas, but now it's time to have a little close look of where we live. Now, a bit about me, although it won't be much because you probably already know about me now if you've seen the last couple of presentations. Photographer, writer with my wife, been around for quite a while now. Been doing freelance photography, and I was a press photographer in the early days, and now I'm doing this kind of thing and really enjoying my photography once again. Anyway, let's get moving because we only got 15 minutes. Travel mindset at home. This is something I've come up with, or we came up with, is that when we go away, we have a different mindset. When we're traveling overseas, interstate, or even in our own state, we're a little bit more adventurous. We're a little bit more out there. We're more curious. We like to try new things and behave quite differently than do when we're at home. And when we are at home, we tend to be the opposite, as I was saying. So why not bring that travel mindset to where you live and live like you're traveling in your own backyard, basically? And we're talking about, and that's what we're talking about here. Now, we all know our city. Most of us live in Perth or the suburbs around Perth. And we pretty well know our area quite well. We know the buildings, basically. We know where to drive to for coffee. We know basically the things we do all the time. And we know how to get to work, whether we use public transport or drive. And these are all very familiar. However, this is an opportunity now where people, especially may have a bit more time. Not everybody has, but a lot of people have a bit more time to actually get out and try new things. And what I'm talking about here is we're very familiar with where we are, but why not look at these things with new eyes? Why not have a look around and explore areas which you may not have noticed before? Generally, when we are in normal work phase and before COVID-19, we were probably in a fair bit of tunnel vision and just getting on with work and not really noticing what's around us. But in our great city, there's lots of things to see that you may have missed otherwise. So this is about looking for something a little bit different around where we live. So familiar. Now, for starters, we'll go through this. Usually I've been talking about this in the other presentations, but I'll have to go through it again because it's important. I mean, we were wrapped up with COVID-19. We're probably stressed and we're probably anxious and there's uncertainty. So so one of the prerequisites, I think, is to relax and get into the zone of being in the moment, basically, and to lessen our stress. So this is partly what we're doing here. So for starters, get that mobile phone of yours on flight mode, so you're not distracted while you're out there looking for things to photograph. If you're using your phone, just use it as a camera, not for anything else. Slow down, breathe. This photograph's in Melbourne, it's not Perth, but it gives an example of what I'm talking about. Traffic, the stresses of modern living, all this kind of thing. It bears down on us. So this is an opportunity to slow down and take some deep breaths. So when you get out there, it's all about relaxing. Deep breathing is really important. Just a few deep breaths and Stop rushing around. There's no need to rush around. Take your time. And at the same time, awaken your senses. In our hustle-bustle world and under the strain of COVID-19, we tend to be a little bit tunnel vision. We're not seeing everything that is there out there to see. And our other senses are deadened too. It's about awakening all your senses, not just your visual sense, as in photography. It's about smelling the smells. It's about feeling the feelings. It's about hearing what's going on, hearing the sounds of the city. Not always pleasant, I might add, but there are sounds that are out there which are quite pleasant. Let's face it. So that's what you're doing. You're trying to awaken your senses to everything. So you're alert. When you awaken your senses, you tend to be in the moment, and your stresses tend to go away. There's amazing things can happen when you do that. And so that's familiar places. You get out and you explore your backyard basically. And it's just a matter of driving somewhere or walking somewhere in your built landscape. Might be your local suburb. It could be a trip into town. Have a little walk around, keeping social distancing, of course, and observing with new eyes. So the familiar places become actually places to discover things. But the other key thing, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to discover new places. Go to places we haven't been to before. Drive to places we haven't been before. You can look on Google Maps or anything like that and maybe go a different route or walk down a different street in your neighbourhood. Check out the housing, check out the gardens. You're basically going to see things you've never seen before. So discovering new places can be very close or can be further away. Our limitations on travel are being relaxed a bit, so we can go a little bit further afield now. So try new places. Be a bit daring. Discover these places that may be not just photogenic, but also may create that kind of sense of exploration, I guess, that you do when you normally travel. Now I'm going to briefly talk about some things, about some composition things and an important part of photography, light. Early morning light, like this photograph, is magical. So getting out in the early morning when streets are quiet, just before school starts, so if you're in an area where there's schools, you can get out and early and have sort of place to yourself, except for early morning exercises that might be around at the same time. And usually there's less traffic. So getting out around sunrise, I reckon, is a fantastic time to do this, and you get to see everything in a new light. And quickly, I'll talk about one part of light, and it's ISO. That's the setting where your sensor in your camera picks up light, and it can vary. So you can use high ISO number, which allows more light into the sensor, or low ISO number. High ISO number does allow you to walk around streets in the evening or later, take photographs without using a flash, because flash is useless in this situation, and use a higher shutter speed. That therefore you can hand hold your camera. You don't have to lug a tripod around, and get very creative with the ISO. So check your booklet, instruction booklet, and see how it all works ISO, and have a play. Have a play in your own place and have fun with that. And do things differently. I mean, this is a great opportunity. It's coming into winter now, so how about taking, in this case, taking a photograph of a big downpour in Claremont through the windscreen of a car. It gives a sort of abstract feeling about it. So this is a good opportunity to try different things, have fun with it. Forms and shapes. Cities are designed in a way they have forms, definite forms and shapes. So get creative with that. Try different things. Look down from a building, looking down to a street level, and check out the patterns and forms you can see. This is a really great opportunity to get really creative. Again, same thing here, the forms and shapes and and looking around. So you start to spot things like reflections in windows of a sunset, in this example. Framing, get fun with framing. Framing is a kind of technique, composition technique, which enhances many photographs if you play around with it and get creative with it. So framing is a good way, especially in the cities where there's lots of archways and that kind of thing, where you can actually do framing shots. Change your angles. I talk about a lot. Don't just take one shot from one spot. Change your angles, get creative. Get into detail, get in closer. It's amazing. The different forms of architectural forms can be quite interesting. So look closely, look at the different forms, get in close, take photos of different patterns and that sort of thing. And it's very, very rewarding. So you're really capturing the essence of where you live. Textures, or nature textures are everywhere, but also built textures. For example, walking down Native Way in Perth, there's all sorts of potential to find textures in buildings, and always worthy of photography and enhance your photographic experience. Street photography, obviously in streets, there's an opportunity to take photographs. This one in Perth was an evening shot, so a high ISO number, but it's amazing what sort of photographs you can get of everyday life in a city, even under COVID-19 times. And my favourite is juxtaposition, I call it, the new against the old, the Perth Town Hall against a new building, and the kind of contrast. That's a lot of fun. And Quirky, reflections in the hubcap of an old vintage car. You know, you're looking for things that are really quirky and different, and that creates that kind of creative type of photography that we're after. And go black and white. Why not put your setting on black and white and try black and white for a change? Look for strong shapes and strong images, geometric images, that kind of thing, which come up very well in black and white. Think in black and white. That's a great challenge. And finally, have fun. Find the street art. Have fun with the quirkiness and of what's around us. There's lots of things that can make us laugh or smile. So it's all about having fun these times. So get out there, take lots of photographs, and explore your city. And I'm sure you'll get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And I'll get back to you in the near future with another one. Thank you.